why we should avoid being judgmental and how to do it. Our society is judgmental. You see a really skinny girl and you think, oh, she must be anorexic or bulimic. You see a fat person and you think they're lazy. You see a picture of a husband hugging other women and you think that, oh, he's cheating on his wife. There are so many things like this out there, but the question is, does anyone stop to think that they might be wrong? Rarely does anyone try to connect with these people, and well, shouldn't we? If you're afraid of looking stupid, what's the point of doing anything? Shouldn't we make the effort? Because I mean, what if it was you? A very good morning I bid to the honorable educators, respected timekeepers, ladies and gentlemen, and members of the floor. Today, I'll be speaking about why we should avoid being judgmental and how to do it. Admit it, we are all guilty of being judgmental. Yes, even you. I certainly am, many times. I think it's human nature. And yet, while it is in our nature to be judgmental, I don't think it's always useful to us. We look down on others as if we are so much better, and this creates division between people. Think about it for a second. We see someone and based on their looks or actions, we pass judgment on them, usually without even knowing the person. And that's it. That's the end of our interaction with that person. We don't make an effort to get to know the person or understand or see whether our judgment is right or wrong. And let's consider what happens when we pass judgment on people we do know. We see something they do and get angry at it, or disappointed in the person, or think the worst of them. We judge without understanding. Now that is exactly why we need to avoid being judgmental. Being judgmental and prejudiced prevents thorough understanding of a person, hence affecting our communication and interaction with them. This happens because by judging this person before actually interacting with them, we create an idea of whom we see them as in our mind. This idea, which is typically a negative perception, prevents us from delving into a conversation with them as unconsciously. Our minds look for any mistakes that they make, no matter how little, to prove our earlier judgment as right. This brings us to the major question mark today, that is, if being judgmental is a natural response, how do we avoid it? According to Leo Baubauta, the first step to avoid being judgmental is to not pass judgment. Yes, you heard that right. If you find yourself being judgmental, stop yourself immediately. This requires a greater sense of awareness that we usually have. So the first and most important step is to control your thoughts. Observe your thoughts for a couple of days. Notice when you're being judgmental. As ironic as it may seem, when you're more aware of your thoughts, you can stop yourself from passing judgment, hence avoid being judgmental. The next step is to understand. Instead of judging someone for what he's done or how he looks, try to understand the person. Take the initiative to put yourself in their shoes. Try to imagine their background and how their life is like. If possible, talk to them. Find out their backstory. Everyone has one, don't they? If that seemed like too much, then what you can do is to try and imagine the circumstances that might have led to the person acting like they do. If it's about a person's appearance, get rid of what you think society should be like. So what if a guy is fat? What's wrong with the husband hugging his younger sister? So what if a man is crippled? Put yourself in their positions. Would you like to be judged and criticized for something you don't do or cannot change? You got the answer. Once you've learned to not pass judgment and to understand, the next step is to learn to accept. Accept that person for who he is without trying to change. Accept that he will act the way he does without wanting him to change. What you need to know here is that nobody is perfect and everyone is bound to make mistakes. The world is what it is, and as much as you try, you can only change a little bit of it. The final and equally important step on your journey to avoid being judgmental is to love. Once you have accepted someone for who they are, try to love them even if they are a stranger. Even if you have hated them in the past, love him as a brother or love her as a sister. No matter who they are, old or young, Muslim or non-Muslim, male or female, rich or poor, put all your differences aside and just love. What good will loving someone do? Your love will likely be limited, but it could have an effect on two people, yourself and possibly on the person you found love for. Albert Einstein once said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." Why judge someone when you yourself aren't perfect? Why should we form a society that is judgmental if we have the ability to love? Judging someone doesn't define who they are, it defines who you are. So the next time you look at a single mother shopping for groceries with her 2 children, offer her a smile. Who knows? You might end up being best friends with her. And that is the end of my speech. Thank you so much for listening.